Hello, welcome to the Ghost Pepper Lollipop, where the takes are spicy, the host is sweet, and we engage. Multiple things can be true at the same time, and often are. I thought I had that lined up better, my bad. How is everyone today? I hope you are well. Hello, my beloved purple team. You look good. Hey, girl, you look good. Girl, you look good. How you doing? How you doing? I love you so much. Hello, everybody else. Hello, green team. Hello, red team. This is green team over here, and red team's over here, and purple team's right here. That's how it goes, just so you know. That's what I look at. When I look over here, I look at red team. When I look over here, I look at green team. When I look right here, it's purple team. Yeah. Girl, you look good. I love y'all. Thank you for that. That is wonderful. That's what y'all should be telling each other. I think Damage has it. Damage has it like figured out. That is how we gas each other up. We just gotta gas each other up. Like, even if nobody else is gonna gas us up, we'll just gas each other up. You know? I think that's how we do it. I think that's how we win. I have been listening to one of the best shows on YouTube today, and I don't know if y'all are aware of that, aware of what Takis is, but I will not have the conversation with transphobes and stuff. I'm on the trans spectrum, and y'all don't have quite enough education to have the conversation with me, because I just refuse to talk to ignorant ass people that are more worried about what's in our pants than anything else. So I won't have the conversation with you, but there's a link right there for Takis, and they will talk to you about it. So go, call into them. They will talk to you about it. They will tell you things. They will have the patience to walk through the difference between a cluster category and an exclusionary category with you. It'll be great. You'll love it. Speaking of calling in, today is our call-in show. We accept calls today. Today is that day. Today is that day. It's today. Today is the day. It is Thursday. It is Thursday, and we take calls today. So, I have some prompts that I just put up on the screen while I sharpen my pencil to take notes of any speakers saying things. Anyway, there's a prompty thing up on the screen, and it has some prompts of things that I'm willing to discuss with you. You get to know my perspective. I get to hear your perspective. We get to practice having a hard conversation. Now, if you think that I really shouldn't think that Glob is evil, that I should think the Sky Daddy is squishy and loving, you can call me and tell me why I should think that. 720-927-6768, just so you know. I am gonna ask for evidence. You know, I mean, I wanna know, like, the really why. But I have to talk with you. Having hard conversations, it is great. We should do that. We should practice that, and then that way we can work through problems easier, and then we sweep less shit up under the rug. I feel like this is the way. So, 720-927-6768, extension 800, because for some reason, I don't know. I don't know why the extension. The phone line thing that I use just has the extension, and I don't know why the extension. The extension is just, the extension is the extension. I don't get a choice of the extension. I am listening to Takis still, and I had to turn it down because I'm like trying to talk and listen to Takis, and that's not working for me. Pepper, that is not. You are too ADHD, and that is not you. Okay, sometimes I do listen to two things at once. I mean, sometimes I do. I don't judge me. Don't judge me. So today we're taking calls either on the man subject and why you don't think men should go live in the minerals and have a re-education program. Why you think they should just be out here free in the world doing shenanigans. Okay, what the actual hell? Why is that? Okay, hang on. Apparently, the audio thing, I did not transfer it over, but I'm going to grab it really quick, and then it'll be great. There we go. Tell me you work. All right, I think I see it now. Do y'all have the music? Like, it's not showing green, it's showing freaking white. It's really strange. All right, let me Maybe, oh, that's why. I think I figured it out. I think I know why. Anyway, we'll see what happens. No music. Wild. It is showing up white. It's really wild. Hang on. I got this. It's actually pretty good music. Like, for DMCA music, it's pretty good. I'm not mad at it. Like that. Ha! Now do you have it? You should have it now. You should have the music now. Ooh, you already hate it. It is, I think it's only going to be close to 80 here. I don't know the Celsius because I'm American and I don't do math on the fly. Yeah, they didn't teach us well. We don't have good home training. Like, that's another one. If you want to call in and argue with me and say, Americans are the best, I suppose you can. But, I mean, you'll be wrong. We don't have good home training. Or logic. Or critical thinking skills. Or education. Or healthcare. Just saying. Just saying. If you want to argue with me about that, if you want to have a conversation about that, 720-927-6768, extension 800. Because I am one of them dirty, dirty leftists. I'm a specific dirty flavor of leftist. Did you see? Did you see? Did you see the dirty flavor I am? I know, I'm full of shenanigans. We have had a few 90+ days already. That is true. We are also getting like wild rain, which we need so much. So I am not mad at the rain, like, at all. I'm very happy for the rain. Yay, I'm so glad. Right? Yeah, death to nice. We will be kind. We will be kind. We will be considerate. We will be humane. We will not be nice. We do not candy coat shit here because it is still shit under the candy. And I'm not going to give somebody a candy coated shit so they think they're getting something all sweet and then bite into something all nasty. No. No. Death to nice. We don't candy coat shit here. That's not our vibe. If you need your shit candy coated, you're going to have to go find a lib to candy coat your shit for you. I don't candy coat shit. So sorry. I hear Hassan candy coats pretty nicely. You can go ask him to candy coat your shit for you. Sweet and spicy, not sweet and poop. This message, I support this message. Y'all bring out all of the shenanigans in me, and I love you for it, Purple Team. I love you. You bring out all of my shenanigan side. It's kind of fun. It's delicious. Give me, plus, like, I always get to like refresh my spoons, which is nice. We did the spoon refreshing this weekend. If that's a thing I could tell you all about. So, any of you that don't know, I was trying to just do the videos, right? Announcement to everybody, actually. I was trying to just record videos. I've been a live streamer for 6 years. I know some of you on the other platforms are like, what? This account is only, yeah. You don't get to go to the one that's been like 6 years until you've proven you can like show home training in a safe space. So, I mean, whatever. I have streamed for like 6 years. In July, it'll be like 6 years. Though I will only have been monetized for 5 years because, well, I streamed to the void for a year. Which is fine. It's fine. It's fine, actually. I don't mind. I learned a lot of things, like how to not stream upside down in that year. Like, there's a lot of things I learned. Anyway, I can stream live. I can do live. It's fine. Doing those videos, those recordings, it's a lot harder. Like, the research isn't the hard part, and the research can be a lot just because I'm engaging such dark topics, you know? The hard part is that I have to engage this topic 2 or 3 times. So I have to do my research, and then, you know, any good person that is doing research is going to double check things. Like, so I double check things. So I'm engaging this stuff multiple times. And then I do the video. And I'm trying to be like exacting and like nail it and all of these things in the video. And it's really impersonal. And so it feels very rigid, and I'm like trying to stay still, all of the things. And so it's a little harder for me. Plus, then I have to re-engage the content. I have to re-engage the content when I edit it. I have to re-engage the content to cut shorts. I have to re-engage the content to do the premiere. And it's just, it was getting a lot. It was becoming overwhelming for me. And so we've decided that I will mostly do these live. Even the episodes, you will still get the research. I will still write an outline. So tomorrow's show is planned. It has an outline, it has research, it has stuff, you know, so I will be doing them live, except for every now and again I may do one that is recorded, but we will be moving to that. And then we'll have the call in, and then Fridays will also always have 2 topics. So where we will have the one like research topic, we will give that to red team will be, we will engage, we will squish together, and then we'll move over to purple and green team, where we will switch to different music. We'll have musical moments, and then we will address another topic, something probably adjacent, because that's what I've been doing from heretofore, is adjacent stuff. So Thursdays will remain call-in, Fridays will be a live or a premiere, dependent. For YouTube, you're the only ones that like that applies to, like, largely. And then Saturdays are Solidarity Saturdays. As always, we do music, we do games, sometimes we do Jackbox games. I mean, sometimes they brought this cheese rolling game, so like there's all kinds of games that the community comes up with, and so we play games on Saturday and music. We have the best playlists on all of the interwebs. I'm gonna stand like 10 toes in that. We have the best playlists on all of the interwebs. If anybody would like access to those, let us know. And on Sundays we do some sort of nerdery. Last week we did sea slugs. That part. And see, purple team also gets to do fun stuff like that. Anyway. Sunday we did sea slugs, which are so cool. Y'all, there is a sea slug that looks like a sheep. Like a little sheep. Like a little plant sheep. And I love it. It's so cute. It's so cute. You don't even know. I used to have a sheep, and her name was Pancake, and she was a spider lamb, and I miss her so dearly. And it's a sheep, y'all. It's a sheep. Yes, the nudibranchs. The nudibranch, there, it's the type of sheep, type of sheep. Nudibranchs is a type of sea slug, and there's a sheep-looking one. My sheep was a spider lamb that we rescued, and her name was Pancake, and she was like a sheep puppy. She was so cool. I miss her so much. You don't even know. And I know how to like drop spin and yarn and stuff. If only I could have a sheep. That one is very low sounding for some reason. I might need to adjust that audio. That one did not play. I will, did that play for you all? Because that did not play very loud for me. I'm gonna have to adjust the audio of that one in the bot real quick. My apologies. Of course it did? Okay. Maybe it's just me. Oh, that's right. That one doesn't go through here. Okay, it's fine. I'm glad it played for you. So long as it plays for you, that's what matters. Is that your bot works properly. Oh, good. Okay. So it was only me that did not hear. Okay. That's fine. It's just one of those. I don't get to engage it. No fair bot. No fair. It's my favorite sound. Oh, you look good. It's the best sound. Damage is the best. Y'all should go and check Damage out. You should really go check Damage out and buy her shit and give her money so that she can make more cool shit, because, well, Damage is fucking awesome. Alright. Anyone? I have prompts. You want to have a hard discussion? You want to practice hard discussioning? Let's go. Let's have one. Let's have a hard discussion. Let's Let's talk about it. Let's talk about why Glob is evil. Let's talk about why Christianity is horrible for the world. Tell me why I shouldn't believe that. You know, if you are a real Christian, your Glob says that you're supposed to. 720-927-6768, extension 800. Hello, Azal. Did I say that right? Is it Azal or Azal? I'd like to pronounce it properly. Because the We Love. Yeah, that one I heard. I heard the Because We Love one, so it's wild that I didn't hear the Girl You Look Good one. And it could just be the level in the level of the sound when they pull it on the computer. It's possible. My bot that does all of that stuff for Purple Team is a programmed bot, and so all of those like sounds and videos live on my desktop. The bot itself lives on my desktop, and so like all of those sounds and stuff are in a special file in the computer, and it pulls it through OBS. And so oftentimes, like if it's a sound one, because it's playing it directly out of the folder, I'll hear it as well. Some of the ones that are like the video ones, I don't hear those. Oh, that could be what it is. That's why I didn't hear it. It's one of the video ones. And I wish that I could make this bot work for all channels, and I'm working on it. I may be able to get it to work on red side. Green side, it's a little harder. I have Botrix for y'all, but the connection isn't there for Kick yet. But I will work on trying to get the bot to work for everybody. Right now, Purple Team has the bot, but they've had the bot since I got it in... When did I get that bot? The end of 2023? I feel like I got this bot the end of 2023, and I'm still... Yeah, it was like Christmas 2023. I'm still learning how to use this thing sometimes. Or I'll forget mechanisms in it. We have a lot going on in the bot though. There's another Twitch streamer came in my stream one day, and he tells his stream, I don't want to hear any of you tell me that my sounds are cursed ever again. Because they set off every cursed sound I had. They did a soft raid, and they set off every cursed sound I had, like right one after another. It was mayhem, I says. It was fun though. It was a lot of fun. I love the community over here. I feel really fortunate to be where I am in the community that I landed in here on the purple side of things. I think that there's a lot of weird competition between platforms, which I don't understand, because it's like team sports for billionaires, and that's just wild to me. And like when we spoke up and spoke out in 2021, which did listen and put safety mechanisms, and so we were able to cultivate our space in a different way than we had ever been able to before. And that's why I'm kind of extra protective over of my Purple Team. They are a very cultivated space. We've worked hard to make that space very, very, very loving and good. And you won't be able to find it because I spelled it different. So you have to be invited. You won't find it. Nanner. Yeah, I'm just medicating. I have the TENS unit on. I woke up at like, I don't know, I guess it was 5:36 this morning, and my back was just doing that thing again. But we had like monsoon level rain yesterday, so I think that was part of like the barometric pressures leveling out. And so I got up early, and I messed around all day, and then I took a nap. And y'all, oh my goodness gravy, hang on, I'm gonna show y'all my faces for this next bit. I'm gonna tell y'all about waking up from my nap and who woke me up. Y'all, I'm so angry. I'm so angry. The worst thing happened. Somebody woke me up from my nap. First of all, my sleep self, not the nicest person. Probably not even kind, generally speaking. Now, I work very hard at kindness. I may not be nice, but I work hard at kindness. No, it was not tea. It was somebody altogether horrible that nobody likes that woke me up. And I'm gonna tell you about it as soon as I get this bear off my face. Okay, so what happened was, and listen, because somebody may want to argue with me and tell me I'm wrong about how to feel about this. And I mean, if you would like to discuss like how I got woken up, there's the number on the screen. Anyway, what happened was, I was laying there. I was in like that good sleep. You know that sleep where nothing hurts. It's just good sleep. You're dreaming good things, like no fuckery in your mind. I can't listen to this for a minute. The music's too many. Okay, so I'm sleeping. I'm so happy because, you know, I wanted to be all bright and shiny for y'all. And I hear sounds like somebody is right over my house with the airplane. Like the airplane is this many off of my house is what it felt and sounded like. This is what I wake up to. An airplane, like 1 foot off of my house. I'd feel it. I'd hear it. I woke up jarred, thinking somebody has sent fighter jets. They're gonna drop a bomb any minute. It's gonna explode on me. When do I die? I'm waiting to die as I wake up with fighter jets over top of my house. Now, I live in Colorado. Now, I live not in the part of Colorado with the bases. The bases are north of me by an hour. Okay, and that's where they can fucking stay, by the way. And the couch fucker is in the city north of me. The couch fucker is there doing some graduation ceremony, and he sent planes into the sky to, I don't know. Was he measuring his pee-pee? I don't know. But he had to have a show of airplanes, fighter jets flying this far off of people's houses because, you know, that's a thing that they do in America, which I was sleeping. I was sleeping peacefully. Couch fucker did not need to invade my sleep. Okay? I don't care if he wants to have sex with couches. He does not need to make the sky sound like hell is about to rain upon me when I'm sleeping. Anyway, that is how I woke up. I'm still bitter about it, by the way. I apparently can't say his name properly yet. I mean, I don't like him anyway, because I'm one of those dirty leftist flavored people, you know, that flavor of left, which is not lib. See, that flavor, way further than lib. Like, it's way that side of lib. It was so loud. It was. I really thought that, like, they were coming for me. Like, I woke up thinking I'm about to die. A bomb is gonna drop. I was waiting. I was literally laying there waiting, listening to this loud thing going, when is the bomb gonna drop? When does the bomb drop? What is that? Like, and, like, I wouldn't put it past America to bomb their own people. I wouldn't put it past, because I live in this adorable little leftist town with the best people, and I wouldn't put it past them. And so, of course, my sleep self wakes up And that is what I thought. Hey, Fox, you certainly may. We already discussed that you could. And I appreciate that you were respectful, and hard conversations are hard. And even when we disagreed, we still got through the conversation. You were nice to talk to. Oh, yeah, I mean, you do wonder if it was gonna crash, and then like when I asked what was going on, when I finally was like able to articulate what was going on, like I'm like looking around and stuff, like there's my family is like they're flying low, and I'm like, oh god, oh gods, oh god. Yeah, I was horrified. Oh, I am okay. I have a little bit of arthritis in my back, but I'm okay. I just got woke up abruptly and rudely by our not so nice vice president in his need to measure his dick across the sky. Thank you. Yes. Don't come to my state, couchfucker. We don't like you here. And those are the people in my state that do like you, we don't like them either. I'm apparently very bitter about him waking me up. I was sleeping good, y'all. I was sleeping so good. I get a little bitter when they wake me up unreasonably. Anyway, other than that, it's been a pretty good day. I got all of my outline stuff for tomorrow done yesterday. I did not do one for today at all. I was really hoping that people would call in, and I figured if not, then we'll just have a little ADHD discussion. I do have a thing that we can like look at and react to if nobody does call in. Um, I do have a thing if we end up needing it. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, no, the dogs shouldn't be happy. Hello, kitty kitty. We love kitty cats. Yeah, the dogs had no reason to be happy at that. It literally sounded like it was over top of the house. Like you could feel the pressure of the sound. You know how sometimes when I don't know if you've ever been to like a air show or something where you can feel the pressure of the planes. Uh, when we used to live in Pensacola, sometimes I would go out into the water at the air show and like the Blue Angels fly over and they push you down and pull you up in the water. Like you can actually like the pressure in action is wild. Oh, it doesn't matter either way. I have a thing. I just thought it was interesting. It's an interesting discussion by another atheist, but she's a spiritual atheist, which I don't I I don't love um I don't
My kids
always
watch the
sorry. I don't always love like language of spirituality because I think that it follows sometimes too close to the language that we use to excuse the bad acts of some of the more harmful faiths. And I believe that also like people need different things in order to um get through life and like navigate, and we use words colloquially differently. And so like this creator, I like her. I like her. So I found I she came up on my For You page, and it was a really like light, interesting discussion, not anything too heavy or uncomfortable. And I was like, well, I like this discussion. This is really interesting and nice. And so I thought that if nobody called in or if y'all wanted, we could show that and discuss it. It's let's see. It's roughly 30 minutes long. It's about 25 minutes long. But it's an interesting conversation. So if y'all would like that, I can do. And it depends on how you use the word, Fox. I do think that like we were discussing the other day, like our brains are so cool. Our brains are seriously some of the coolest things imaginable, and our brains can create so many worlds like within themselves. And I I have you I don't know how to like say this right. Fuck it, I'm just gonna say it, and who cares if people think I'm crazy? It's not none of my business what people think of me. Anyway, I have disassociated due to trauma. I've disassociated, and it's a tool that the brain uses, and I think that that same thing is what when we're flooded with certain brain chemicals at death keeps us like comfortable and cozy through that really traumatic experience. Our brains are constantly looking for ways to protect us. Now, sometimes that protection goes a little overboard and it can do wild things like cause you to dissociate and things, but there's also really cool things that our brain does um, that I thought was interesting. But when it comes to spirituality, I think I don't think that I love that phrasing, but I understand why people use it. And recently, a friend that I went on their show, they put something in my Discord. I hope that it's okay if I read this, Dragonly, but it is too good not to share. Um, and like I think that we use spirit to replace the unknown. We use that word to replace this unknown aspect of us, and I really like the like we are nature experiencing ourselves. I don't think that there's like this big brain in the universe planning all of this stuff, or it wouldn't be so messy. I don't think it would be so messy. I think they would be constantly cleaning up the messes if there was like this mind, this like active God with a mind to like change things. I think they would be like, whoa, wait, I messed that up, because like I've been like a mom and a homemaker, and when I mess stuff up, I gotta go clean it up. You don't just leave it lay. And like when we do science here, we don't just leave something lay. Um, we clean up the mess. We explore the different ways that the experiment turned out, and etc. And I think that that's one of the key reasons why I don't believe in like a deity and like a god. And I understand that need to connect, and to connect with ourselves, and to connect with this universe. And I really think that we are probably like we are like, it doesn't hurt me. I'm just very passionate, Fox. I'm just very passionate. Um and people don't always read passion in women well, especially if you're not like, if you're trained in mask socialization, you won't always read our passion as passion. It's just a phenomenon that happens when we put divides between people. When we stop having hard conversations, when we tell people you can't discuss this because it's a hard conversation, don't talk about this because you'll upset somebody. When we put those lines up and we refuse to have hard conversations, we get really bad at like reading people's moods and things, and we'll read anger or upset somewhere that there's passion and love and feeling, and so we may miss the love in the conversation because the passion came too far. And I really appreciated you allowing me to like have my feelings, and I appreciate that you didn't just get mad. You listened and took that into consideration, even if I feel like it was misread a little bit. I just think that we we don't have hard conversations enough to work out like how to do it really well. And I'm new to it, and I was so nervous because you are my first not friend shaped call, Fox. You were my first call that was not friend shaped. Everybody that is called before you is one of my friends. Everyone that I discussed this with before you is somebody I trust. And so you were the first person outside of my comfort zone. And so getting a familiarity with how to do this right and like do justice, I'm still working on. And I appreciate your patience and how well we were able to navigate that call. I thought it was done pretty well, and I appreciated you for it a great deal. All right, this thing, back to the other point, since I squirreled because that was a good comment. But back to the other thing. we look for like words like spirit and God to fill these empty spaces, these gaps. And like I've been saying recently, I really like the idea of us being sort of nature experiencing herself. Like we are the evolution of nature that finally gets to like give feedback. Like we are. So if you want a God, like you're it. You're kind of it, you know. And that's scary and amazing. But there is no God because we're just nature experiencing herself. But we look for something to fill the things we think are empty. And Dragonly said the most epically amazing thing in my Discord, and I want to share that with y'all real quick because it's so well put, and I think it just, I don't know, it filled me in a way that I can't explain, and I hope that sharing it gives somebody else that experience. The atom is mostly empty space, yet the empty part is not exactly empty. It's the most interesting, the most sacred part of the atom. The space between particles is a sea of fields, fluctuations, virtual particles, tugs of force, ripples of probability, threads of entanglement, and possibly even the encoded shadows of higher truths. Nothing else is the busiest place in nature. And in a bizarre twist, we are made of this nothing. More than 99% of our volume is what we used to call vacuum. Yet that vacuum is everything but silent. It hums with the residual energy of creation. It crackles with virtual particles that flicker in and out of existence. It carries the field that gives you your weight. It shudders with the constant motion that prevents your electrons from falling into your nuclei. It absorbs and emits photons that let your eyes see the world. Strip away this so-called nothing, and you would not have a body. You would not have your hands, nor would you have thought. The lesson from the atom is perhaps that the empty parts of life could be the most important. The pause between heartbeats, the space between words, the breath in the middle of a sentence, the gap between two people in which longing and affection can move. These are not absences, they are mediums. They carry information, energy, possibility, and meaning. Take that away, and it all collapses. Modern physics keeps confirming this. Excuse me. Excuse me so much. Modern physics keeps confirming this in stranger and stranger ways. Empty space stretches, pulls, pushes, twists, and ripples. It carries dark matter and dark energy. It hums with 0-point vibrations. It hosts entanglement that may be the very fabric of geometry. The vacuum is not what is left when everything is gone. It is what holds everything up. For thousands of years, philosophers and mystics have hinted at something similar, that there is a deep importance to emptiness that we call nothing, is often the source of what we call everything. Modern physics, working from a very different angle, has arrived at versions of the same insight. The atom, the most basic unit of matter, is a riddle of mostly absence. Still, from that absence emerges every solid object you've ever known in the world. Right now, in the tip of your finger, all this is happening. Quarks dancing inside protons, electrons shimmering in clouds of probability, virtual particles popping in and out of being. Ghosts of antimatter forming and dying, neutrons passing through untouched, the Higgs field tugging on your weight, the strong force welding your nuclei, the exclusion principle holding up your shape, and beneath it all the vacuum hums. We are not some separate things watching the universe. We are a small region of it that has folded inward enough to wonder about itself. A loose knot of particles suspended in fields, riding on the surface of a planet, embedded in a galaxy, sailing through deep space, held together by laws none of us wrote, sustained by emptiness we cannot see. So the next time you press your hand against a wall, a door, or a table or desk, remember that please remember what is really happening. Trillions of clouds of probability pushing against trillions of others, refusing to overlap. Fields trembling with hidden energy. Ghosts streaming through time, blurring the edges of all of it. Conspiring to give you for one quiet moment the gift of touch. The strange thing hiding inside every atom you touch is not just one thing. It is the universe hiding within. And that is the cosmic perspective. Keep looking up. That was written by Little Dragonly. And I had to share that with y'all because it was so beautiful. And I feel like that speaks to that we are nature experiencing herself kind of vibe. And I loved it. That's funny, Fox. I like that one. I actually really love dad jokes and punny things. I'm very simple. I'm quite simple. I love dad jokes. I love punny things. And let's look at this. If nobody's going to call, if you want to call and talk about what I just read or any of the prompts on the screen, 720-927-6768, extension 800, Y extension. I don't know Y extension. The app I use gave me extension, and so we have extension. And Purple Team, y'all are about to have the unbearable land of ass come and visit you. And I know the capitalisms there are deep and terrifying, and you can escape them. Just click the green team right there. They're flat in the back. No ass ever. It's wild. It's wild phenomenon. I can't explain it to you. I don't know. Or you can sub up. Subbing up is a great way to show support for the channel. Anybody can do that, and we do appreciate that. If somebody wants to help me get a mattress so that I am no longer sleeping on the floor, because that is uncomfortable. Well, I mean, it's not as uncomfortable as my squishy mattress, but if anybody wants to help with that, I also have a Ko-fi. I do emotional labor. You can help me if you would like. You don't have to, though. We're just glad you're here. All right. This is the wonderful Britt Hartley. Now, Britt Hartley is an atheist, but she's a spiritual atheist. And I think that, I don't know, I think that she uses spirituality to fill the nothing. And I understand that desire. I don't necessarily agree with it. I kind of love the idea of us, I don't know, I kind of love the idea of us working it out and still figuring it out. I like the idea of I don't know more than this evil deity is in control of it all. And luckily for me, science is so far on my side. And I think that spirituality is sort of a self-medication tool for some people. And it is very hard to deconstruct from religion and things because it embeds deeply within us. I mean, so deeply that some people will end up believing that they are deities or that they see things and etc. And unpacking that is painful and hard. And if you are unpacking that, if that is something that you are struggling from, there is an organization called Recovering from Religion. Their website is recoveringfromreligion.org. Let me give you this link. And they have access to therapists and groups and etc. where you can go and talk through it. They can also help you find secular therapy in your area so that you are not trying to unpack it on your own, because it can be very devastating. So if that is something you are working with, even though I am an irreverent heretic, I am not uncaring. I do not want you to be hurt. I do not want to hurt you. And so if you need to go and seek out that kind of help, please do. It is stronger to ask for help, and you can prove it by how hard it is. So go get the help that you need. You deserve good help. All right. This is called My Atheist Kids Watched Prince of Egypt, and they were horrified. So we often don't discuss the type of horror stories and grooming stories that we feed children in these Christian faiths, that we give them very young. And we don't discuss how their little brains react to it. And I think that it could be a source of why we have so much trauma in people that are older. You know, trauma affects you. It sticks. It sticks. And like we respond to trauma differently because we're all different beings. but also normalized trauma is just, it just becomes generational. When you normalize a type of trauma or a type of situation and just say, okay, you get to deal with this, that just becomes this stacking generational thing. But when you are the cycle breaker, when you are the one that breaks the cycle and says, okay, I am not going to do this trauma with this group of people in this generation, you get to see what happens when that element is taken away. Now, I remember asking a lot of these questions and being blown off and hit and etc. It is not normal to hit children now. Well, mostly not normal to hit children. It needs to be less normal to hit children because that is really weak and wildly lazy and uncreative. And I think that what she says here is so important because kids that were not raised with those stories, seeing them from for the first time can give you a perspective that you never even imagined. And I think that that is what we get from this video. And I'm sorry I was so long-winded about that. I went around the mulberry bush a couple of times. Let's go.
The Prince of Egypt movie, and it did not go well. So I usually don't bring my kids into social media or talk about them on YouTube, but I do think it's relevant for today. And of course, as always, I'll use it as a jumping off point to talk about some interesting concepts, especially today, the concept, a kind of theism called mesotheism. So let me set the stage here. It was Sunday. I wanted to watch a family movie, and my older two kids have some experience in religion. They have gone to church. My oldest was baptized. They have some sense of like the songs and the prayers and what people believe at church. But my younger two kids, who are ages 7 and 8, Florence is my youngest and Fuji is my second youngest, they have never been to church. They don't really understand what's going on with religion at all. And so I thought it would be a good Sunday movie.
Oh, have you? It's good that this is on your For You page. I love that for you. She's a very nice person. This is a very interesting video. I think she hits a lot of really good points. I hope y'all enjoy this as much as I did. And we'll discuss it as we go through it. Like, I'm not just gonna show her stuff. Yes, I'm medicating, and YouTube does not love my medication. And I want to be my best for y'all, so I have to do a little bit of medication, but I will be right back without the bear momentarily, Fox. Hey, Queer Sad, so good to see you, love. How are you doing?
The music is amazing. The songs, even the atheists say, like, these songs are amazing. I still listen to these songs. The atheism leaves my body when I listen to these songs. So I thought it'd be good to like talk about this story, talk about what their Christian and Mormon neighbors and friends and family members would think about this story. I understand that Jews would view this story differently. We just don't have really a Jewish community in where I live in Idaho. So really I was talking about how their Mormon and Christian friends and family would see this, would believe in this.
I think that's a really interesting aspect that I probably never would have used on my own children, like to show them what other people believe, like in this way, because I find these stories very horrifying. But I think this is such an interesting perspective, and so cool that like she's willing to give them multiple perspectives, because I think that diversity of us is what makes us so cool. You know, I think that most billionaire patriarchs hate everybody below them, Fox. I really think that that's just kind of the normal. And that's why I don't necessarily, like, I protect my purple team, but that's only because I've been with them for 6 years, and like I have actual real friends in there, but I also have people that need and deserve a little bit of protection there. And I don't necessarily like love the competition between platforms and stuff. I don't think that playing team sports with billionaire platforms like serves us at all. I think it just serves to feed their egos. So, I use multiple platforms. The TT, that's the only one I don't use, and I don't use it deliberately. But yeah, and I also, on that note, I also think that like the competition between a lot of like the channels in the same vein, like the being too competitive with each other, I think that's like counterintuitive as well, especially over here on the left. I feel like uplifting each other is the better route, but that's my own pet peeve. Okay, she is showing her kids the Prince of Egypt because the stories are normalized to her. So none of this for her is anything. It's completely normalized story. She's known all of her life, and she likes the music. And the way she tells this story is pretty good. It's good story.
What
Let's
they would
go.
think about this. So I thought it would open up conversation, and I thought the music would be very good. I thought they would like it because it's an animated movie, and my younger two.
I also love that she's opening up conversation with her kids. Y'all, children are people, and they are learning how to person. And if you have dialogue with them, they get better at dialoguing, and they learn how to person better, and they learn how to navigate their feelings and things when you discuss them and talk to them about them. So, you should really do that with children. Treat them like they're people. Maybe small people with less understanding of the world, but people all the same. You're stressy? Oh no. Hugs. Big hugs, queer sats.
Were horrified. They were so scared in this movie. This was a horror movie for them. And so not only did they
Think
not
of
like
that.
it.
Young atheist children seeing Prince of Egypt for the first time. It was like watching Poltergeist for them. Now, Poltergeist was my favorite movie when I was 5. That is the same. That is the equivalent of Prince of Egypt for these little atheist children.
They were truly terrified by this movie. So this was really interesting for me as someone who's used to religious violence. I was raised religious. I'm used to seeing Jesus on a cross. I'm used to blood. I'm used to sacrifice. I'm used to Jonah and the whale. I'm used to Noah's Ark. I'm used to the Exodus story. This is all normal for me. I didn't think that it would be scary because I'm very desensitized to religious violence because
I was horrified by that stuff as a kid. Horrified. And they just told me it was good because God did it and that I should accept that and have faith. And like when I wouldn't, they would hit me. Like it was wild. It's wild. Poltergeist, I don't know. It became so normalized for me. Like Poltergeist wasn't scary for me because real life was scary for me. I think is why like Poltergeist was scary, but also like they never showed anything like bad happening to her inside the TV or whatever. And so it wasn't that bad, but like real life was scary for me. So Poltergeist was just, you know, I don't know. I liked it because I liked the voice. I liked the little girl's voice, and I liked the voice of oh my gravy. She was the psychic. The psychic lady. But yeah, no, that was my see that is wild for me, queer sats. That is so wild that 10 Commandments was your favorite as at 2. That was a horror story for me. But yeah, no, it is so wild how different things become normalized for us, and like it's not frightening at all, and then for these kids, like the Prince of Egypt animated movie with songs is like a horror movie for these kids. And that should tell us something about like the type of content that it actually is. What you're actually showing in this thing is actually scary, but it's so normalized for us that we don't think about that. We don't consider that as being scary because that's just, we grew up with it. They'll be fine. And actually, what this can tell us is the type of trauma wound that does to us when we are young, when we are children.
raised religious. So the beginning we got through okay. You know, it starts off with slavery and they're killing the newborn baby boys. And
it starts off with slavery and killing newborn babies. But this is a children's movie that is entirely normalized. Are y'all starting to see why I say it's evil, why I say it's grooming, why I say it's damaging? Can you see why I hate Christianity?
Through that okay, but what really...
How are you going to start a movie off with slavery and murdering babies and call it a children's movie, but be all wildly weirded out by Poltergeist being my favorite movie when I was 5? I would like somebody to answer that. 720-927-6768, extension 800. I want to know why it is better to show people The Prince of Egypt than Poltergeist when they are 5. Okay? That is your your task. You must make me understand why either the 10 Commandments or Prince of Egypt is better content for a 5-year-old than Poltergeist and Firestarter. There are your metrics. Well, you need to watch it then. Oh, well, I don't know. Ro, are you afraid of scary movies? Like, first let me check in. How do you feel about children being sucked into television sets and then there being lots of like haunty, poltergeisty stuff happening? Is that like, would that like horrify you? Because if not, it is a great movie. Only the first one though. The rest of them, eh. Firestarter, amazing. Across the board. Firestarter. Second favorite movie as a child. Yes, okay. 5 and 6 years old, those were my favorite movies. That should tell you about the house I grew up in. I'm keeping going now.
Scared my children was when The Mist was happening.
One of the houses I grew up in, because that shit was too toxic for me to stay in all the time, and I wasn't allowed to stay there all the time. Oh, you haven't seen Prince of Egypt? Actually, neither have I, Ro. Which, after watching this, I am so glad that I haven't, because, like, you start off a children's movie with slavery and killing babies, I am probably going to start screaming and yelling at the TV immediately. I am probably not going to get through the first 5 minutes of that shit, but we all know me.
Which was kind of representing the power of God that would kill the Egyptian oldest sons. And so there's this one scene where a family is sleeping together and the oldest child exhales, and then the younger sibling is just kind of laying next to their dead sibling. And
how is that not terrifying? How is that not terrifying? Why is that okay to tell to children? Why? Christians, I need to understand this. I don't understand this. This is a thing I do not understand. Why is this okay to tell to children? Isn't Real can suck an elf right now. Yeah. Glob freed nothing. If Israel wasn't free, if they were enslaved, which maybe they were, and I mean lots of horrible slaveries have been done in Glob's name. If they were enslaved, it was them that freed themselves. Now, the Bible in Leviticus gives instructions on how to enslave people, who can you enslave, and how long they should be enslaved for, and who can and cannot be freed from enslavement. So God loves slavery. So I don't think that that's a very good argument to make. You saw those movies as a child too. Yeah, well, I mean, I never saw 10 Commandments, but I come from heretics, so, you know. Well, I mean, I don't know. They were back and forth. My stepfather was a believer, and he was the really violent party. My 10's unit just died. Excuse me so much. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm having allergies from the cottonwood flying. And he was a believer, but he wasn't like a follower, if that makes sense. And so it wasn't a regular thing for us to be exposed to church. And I stopped being exposed to church when I got kicked out at like almost 9 for being a heretic, because evangelicals are weird and creepy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, 9/11 is a wild first experience of death. That is fair, Queersats. That is a lot of long horror to watch back to back. Holy, I cannot. That is mean. I would rather watch Poltergeist and Firestarter back to back. What do you mean, kind of? Like ethnically or religiously? Because there is a difference. There is a difference. And I don't know. If the head of the Satanic Temple wasn't an evil racist, their tenets are better than the Christian tenets. That's fair. Different art for different people. I don't know. I like movies. It just depends on the movies. I don't watch a lot of movies. I honestly watch more people-made content these days. I watch more streams and people-made content, honestly. That is facts, Queersats. Boomers had no regard for our safety. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. That is fact. It is a wonder as many of us survived as did. Oh, okay. It's all good. So that would be ethnically. I love music as well. We have some of the best playlists on the entire interwebs in my channel that we've been building since I started streaming. They are so good. They are so good. I will share them because I'm very, very proud of our playlists. I have bots that can do most of this work for Kick and Twitch, but I will have to share them with you over in Red Team individually. So I will do that since I have not done that for y'all before. This first link, this first playlist is Indigenous artists from around the world. All kinds of amazing music from Indigenous artists around the world. It's wonderful. Chat has been helping me build that list, and you can take any one of those artists and go on an amazing rabbit hole and never be bored. There's like 17 hours of music on that list. This next list is our protest list, our DeFi list. We began this, I don't know, last year at some point, and it's not bad. You can add to it, collaborate with it. This last list is our Down with the Patriarchy list. This list is one of my like favorites to play most recently. It is vibey, it is uplifting, it is girl and queer fat power. It is amazing. Yeah, that's wild, queer stats. That's wild. Yeah, they had no regard for safety. All right, back to the content. Let's hear what her kids thought of this horror story.
The
And
whole land is crying.
seriously, Christians, why is this an okay story to tell kids, but people freak out when they find out that like I liked Firestarter and Poltergeist at 5? I really would like to know why that is less horrifying.
Out for the dead. And then good news though, if you kill a bunch of innocent lambs and put blood on your door, the scary white mist won't come into your house. And as I'm watching this, this is a nothing burger for me.
Why does he gotta have blood? Why you gotta have blood? And why is it gotta be lambs? Lambs are young sheep. Lambs aren't like adult sheep. Why is it gotta be the baby sheep? Like why is that? How come for? Why does God need blood from baby sheeps in order to save the lives of baby children's? Why? But why? Why is that good or loving? Like that he's gonna kill these children? Why? Why is that? Why is that good? But why? But why? 720-927-6768 extension 800.
Right? Like this is like I've heard this story since, you know, before I was 5 years old. I've gotten used to this story and it didn't register really as anything to me. But watching this now through the eyes of children who have not been religiously indoctrinated, it is so weird to them. And it did not at all feel like a good and loving God. And so it still shocks me as someone who is raised religious, who's raising non-religious kids, is how weird some of these concepts are to them when they are not raised in it. And that's true of all religion. When you're an outsider looking in, it's not just this story. Everything from the outside looks strange. It's not strange though if that's the goldfish bowl that you swim in, that you grew up in. So I remember one time just trying to explain Groundhog Day to a friend of mine who was from India, and that being just like the strangest thing to them, but to us it's like this cute little ritual and it's totally normal. So from my kids, the overwhelming response that I got from my 4 children is, why did God have to kill babies and kill lambs in order to—
I have the same questions. I've had these same questions since I was 8 years old. Nobody has ever answered them to my satisfaction. Yes, I am autistic, and yes, that can maybe be part of it. And God is supposed to love me anyway. And God should know the thing that I need to hear, to believe, right? Because he's all knowing and stuff. So one of you come and tell me the thing that your God knows will be the thing that makes that all be answered to my satisfaction and make me stop questioning and never wonder anymore and never say he's evil again. That's your job. That's your job. He says so. He says so. If a person like me is talking smack about your God and saying that he is a bad guy and that he is evil and stuff, your job is supposed to call and tell me why I'm wrong, why I should believe in him. Like, so that's your job. 720-927-6768 extension 800. Do the job. Do the job. Do it. Anyway, Raiders, you are so beautiful. Oh my goodness, girl, you look good. Oh, y'all are so beautiful. Hello, Angel. How are you? Welcome in, Vincent. Welcome in. It's so good to see you all. I hope you had a good stream, Angel. I hope you are well today. It is so good to see you. Thank you so much for bringing your community over. Y'all are amazing. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, love.
Sorry.
No, you're perfect. You're perfect. Thank you for throwing that awesome clip as well, Ro. Well, I was just randomly jabbering, and I do keep going squirrel and rambling in between things, but we are looking at Britt Hartley, a spiritual atheist. She is discussing how her kids, who are being raised atheists without the grooming of Christianity, found The Prince of Egypt to be a horror movie. The animated kids movie, how they thought it was a horror movie because it begins with slavery and murdering babies. And then, you know, if you don't want your baby to be murdered, you have to kill a baby sheep and put its blood all over your door, and then your baby won't be killed by God. And they wanted to know, so that's the point that we're at, that they're horrified by that part. We're doing pretty well, thank you. I'm having some arthritis pain, but I think it's just the barometric pressure. We got that monsoon rain. All right, back to it.
to free this people if God is a powerful God? And I like kind of sat with that because I don't think I ever thought about that, because
Well, exactly, Vincent, and that's why I do a call-in show, so anybody that has any questions or wants to have a difficult conversation and see if we can make it through it politely can call me 720-927-6768 extension 800, because that is the real challenge. The real challenge is to have a difficult conversation. The real challenge is to make it through a hard conversation and still be like me and Crazy Fox Lover last time and be like, you know what, I would talk to you again. I enjoyed that. That is the goal. That is the true goal. The true goal is to normalize hard conversations and to have them instead of being afraid of them, to take our power back from the patriarchy and their need to silence us and make us not speak truths to their lies. Oh, Prasad, I love your analogies. Your analogies are so good sometimes. This one's good. God is basically a Ferengi whose currency is blood, and they exploit their children for power and gain. That is so, like, wildly true. So wildly true.
was just so used to this story.
Scary. Oh my
Because in
goodness.
their beautiful child imaginations, I asked them, like, what would you have done? And they came up with all kinds of ideas, if they were a powerful God, on what they would have done instead of killing innocent babies and innocent lambs. And that even if it's supposed to represent Jesus, like if we're putting this into a Christian context, I realize Jews would have a different interpretation, then why couldn't they put a loaf of bread on their doorstep to represent the future bread of life, or some other symbol? Jesus has many symbols around him. And so my kids, like even my 7-year-old was like, why couldn't God make the slaves invisible and then they could have left? Why couldn't God have placed that really cool fire as a wall between them and the Egyptians right away? Why did innocent babies have to die?
I want to know the same thing. And I love how kids come up with these other, like, things that are entirely unharmful, like the bread to show the future bread of life. Kids are so beautiful, and kids will tell you the truth of things, the truth that you don't always see. And I think the truth that we don't always want to see sometimes. And I really think that that is one of the reasons why we as adults, we negate the voices of children. We ignore their voices. We devalue them. We treat them as though they don't have valid opinions. And I think that sometimes they're the most honest with us, and they make us face things that we don't necessarily tell ourselves the truth about, or that we don't necessarily ask ourselves questions about. Does that make sense? Also, I clipped it and I took a screenshot of it for Sats. Thanks for consent to use it. I definitely will be using it. Oh, I hope y'all have such a great date. I love that for you, Angel. Well, I hope that you and Angel have the best date then. I hope that y'all have the best night. Thank you so much for rating in. Go and be so good to each other, enjoy each other, and enjoy your night. Thank you so much for coming in.
And then I would kind of say some argument that I didn't agree with, just to hear what they would say, because I'm now like trying to see this through their eyes. And I would say, but is it okay for God to do that because those children instantly go to heaven? And
I love that she asked these kinds of questions so much, because these are the kinds of things that they just tell kids. They just tell you and groom into you, and then these types of things we just believe as adults. And because she has deconstructed from religion and stuff, she knows these different questions and things that she asked when she started deconstructing and things. And I love that she put these forth to innocent minds that do not know to be groomed by them, that do not know to answer in a certain way, because that can tell us so very much.
then my oldest was like, if that's the case, then why isn't it always the right thing to do to kill babies so they get an instant ticket to heaven and don't do anything wrong and don't, accue any sin, so that they don't have to even have the chance of going to hell?
That part. Why would you create something just to make it suffer? Is that it? Does God just love torture? Does God love torturing and hurting us as humans? Is that why? Is that why he makes babies to suffer and die? Is that why? Because the good Christians will say, well, at least they go to heaven. At least they're not here on this plane anymore. You know, all of these things. If that's so preferable, why didn't God just make heaven? Why didn't he just make the good place? Why didn't he just make us all fluffy clouds without any contention, and just, you know, go forward with fluffy cloudland? Why do we need the suffering place? Why do we need not only the suffering place but the punishment suffering place? And why is punishment preferable to teaching? Why is punishing for not understanding something preferable to teaching somebody to have an understanding? Why is killing babies preferable to allowing them to live? Why do you need the blood of baby lambs to save your baby's life? Why can't you put a loaf of bread out?
And he took it further that, like, why wouldn't then abortion be the right thing to do? Because, yeah, fine, you go to hell as the parent, but then you ensure that all your children go to heaven instantly, and you do the ultimate sacrifice by going to hell just so that your kids get a one-way instant pass to heaven. So he wasn't buying this argument that, like, oh, it's okay just because they get to be in heaven now. And so they did not at all come away from this movie feeling like this is a loving God, or this is a God worthy of worship, or I want to check out church now to see what's going on. Even during the burning bush story, God kind of raises his voice when Moses is like, oh, I can't do it. Who am I? And he goes, who made man's mouth? Who made the deaf, the mute, the seeing, or the blind? Did not I? And it's like very, like, you know, loud and scary. And it's like my oldest said, weird flex, God, but okay. Like, okay, you.
And why is that the flex? Like, why? A, why is that the flex? And B, why are you mad that they didn't read your mind and know that, like, you would be butthurt that they weren't noticing that you made everything, and so they should just do what you want? Like, why did you make beings that have free will if you ultimately just wanted beings that would obey you? Why did he do that? Is it because he has a torture kink? Is it because he likes twisting people around and tormenting them? Let me know. 720-927-6768, extension 800.
You made the mute, the deaf, and the blind. Like, okay, like, great job. Thanks for that. But like, even the burning bush was really scary to them. And so it reminds me also of, I've shared this on social media. I don't think I've shared this on YouTube. There was one time my daughter came up to me, and we just have a rule, they get limited screen time. And if they see something inappropriate, that I will trust them with their computers if they will come and bring to me what they saw that was inappropriate. And to not hide it from me. And so I'm very grateful and glad that my daughter felt like we had a good enough relationship that she came to me and she said there's something inappropriate on my iPad. So of course, like, she's like, I don't know, 6 or 7 at the time. And I freak out because I think that it's corn, and I'm freaking out that she's seen something. And so I go to grab her iPad and I look at what she's saying is inappropriate. And it was Jesus on the cross. And this particular one, I will admit, is bloodier and more.
You do not know how much I love that this child went and said, "This man nailed on my cross is wrong, mommy. That shouldn't be on my iPad. I need a content warning." See, y'all, these things that are normalized to us as adults come across differently as children, and they affected us differently. You may not remember how that affected you the first time because a bunch of adults came and painted this pretty candy coating over that awful, and then they taught you never ever to look at the awful under the candy. And that did something, that twisted something and taught you to believe untrue things and to trust things that have no proof. Also, it taught you to trust that murder and blood and a seeking of violence means love. They taught you that being violent with you and punitive and punishing you meant love. That's the really heinous thing about it. And W this mom, because those kids don't learn that punishment means love. Love means love. They learn that love means love. They learn to trust themselves. They learn to make good decisions that they can trust themselves for. They learn to make decisions that they will be given positive rewards for, because they're given positive rewards when they make good decisions instead of punished for being children and making mistakes, because we are part of a species that learns from those.
More naked than the average Jesus, but this Jesus was very bloody, kind of had some like flesh hanging off here, and then like very naked, like very naked. And to her, it's so interesting because like when I was a kid, when I saw this, the adults would just say, "This represents God's love," and I'd be like, "All right, I guess that's God's love." But to her,
how is that God's love, Christians? How does that represent God's love? How does that gory graphic image represent love? To me, that represents death. To me, that represents pain. To me, that represents trauma. To me, that represents cruelty. To me, that represents torture. That doesn't inspire feelings of love and goodness in my heart. It inspires feelings of fear. That wasn't done by somebody that loves. That's not an act of love. Cruelty is not an act of love ever. That's the other reason why I believe this faith is evil. It tells people that cruelty is an act of love. How is that an act of love? Describe it to me. Tell me. If you think I'm wrong, if you think that the Christian God is loving and that is an act of love, please call. Tell me. Make me see. How is that an act of love?
Instant response to this when someone didn't tell her that this is God's love is that this is inappropriate, this is violent, this is something too gruesome for me to see, this is something that makes me feel icky, and I need to tell my mom about this. And it really
right there, that tells us something. That tells us that most likely we had a similar response when we first heard that. Now, I know I had a similar response to all of that. I know because I can remember being hit and stuff for not just accepting, well, that's God's love. Well, you just have to have faith. Well, that's just what faith is. I couldn't accept that. My mind couldn't believe. They didn't convince me. And you only believe things you're convinced of. And my brain could not be convinced of it. My mind could not be convinced of it. It was not my choice to not believe. Just like it was not your choice to be groomed with it. It was not your choice for them to feed this information to you at such a young age that it twisted parts of your mind and made you start accepting evil, awful things as love. You accept abuse from others every day, most likely. You make excuses for them. I know because I watch the things that go under the rugs. I watch when everything that gets swept under those rugs. Priests sexually assaulting, men hitting people, children having the most heinous things imaginable done to them. A gun pointed at my head at 3, and it always being my fault because I wouldn't be silent about it. This is that danger. That is those things that they put in that aren't your fault. And those can be so painful to unpack. They become part of our identity because they're just part of the schema and how we view the world. They're part of the pattern for us. And they've become so normalized. And imagine telling yourself that these awful, awful things are love over and over again. How would you not go forward treating other people in horrible ways? You've already normalized that awfulness to mean love. And so you hit your children and you tell them it's love. That's not love. That's lack of creativity. That's lack of, it's laziness, because I don't know another word for that. It's refusing to take the time and energy to make things make sense. It's incompetence on an extreme level, and it is weak and small. And yet, we normalize it. We run a punitive society as if anyone learns anything from punishment. You don't. We don't learn from punishment. We learn from making mistakes and correcting them. We learn from growing through encounters and taking things as learning lessons and going to the mirror and checking ourselves, but we do not learn from being punished. Punishment does not engender. Do not trust the pilgrims. Punishment does not engender us to do critical thinking or engage ourselves or do any mirror work. Punishment just teaches you to fear the person that is wielding the whip or the cage or whatever the punishment is. Hello, Alcoma. Welcome in. It is so telling that these kids saw this as a horror movie. This is an animated kids movie, The Prince of Egypt, that Christians all over show their kids over and over and over and indoctrinate them with. It begins with slavery and killing babies. It begins with sacrificing baby sheep. And they call this love. And I am a heretic. I am irreverent. I say things in colorful ways because I want to paint certain pictures, and I actually do care. I do not want you to be in so much pain. I do not want you to have to unpack this stuff by yourself. And if you did believe this and are unpacking and that is painful, that is normal. It is normal for that to be painful, and I'm so sorry that that hurts. I'm so sorry that somebody gave you that pain and gave you that weight to carry. That is not your weight. And these people at the link that I'm putting here in chat can help you lift that weight off of you. They can help you find secular therapists. They can help you find groups of people that are also unpacking so that you can talk to people that are at the same level as you. This grooming begins so young, and it is done in insidious ways, like this movie that these children felt was a horror movie. So be good to yourself if you are unpacking it. That is going to hurt. And go forward and get the help to unpack it. Getting help is the strong thing. And you can prove that it's the strong thing because it's the harder thing to do. It's the thing they tell you not to do because they know that once you find self-love and self-worth and unpack that you will move through the world less able to be controlled by them. And the thing they want the most is to control you. It's why they began when you were so young with such insidious methods as this movie. Welcome in. Hello, Serena Chess. Thank you for the lurk. Welcome, Inviting Gail. It's so good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much. Girl, you look good. Hey, chats, all of you. Girl, you look good. Just want to tell you that. I just thought that maybe you should know that because, you know, we got to be gassing each other up. Girl, you look. All right, back to the content. Why the filter? Well, multiple reasons why the filter. Thank you for asking. Why the filter? Well, one, the type of filter it is. What era of comics is this? What are we discussing here? We're discussing patriarchy and misogyny and unpacking that. What era of comics is this? I like concept art and I like analogies and things, so that's part of it. Also, I say things that men don't necessarily find comfortable or like, and sometimes they'll get angry. And they get mad at this and not me. They can get mad at this and they can imagine this when they're going forth with their pissy pants emotional temper tantrum. And my adult offspring looks like me. They don't deserve to go forward in the world and have some man that's mad at me go after them. So it's got a few reasons. Thank you for handling that, Fighting Gil. And Maddie's like, I got one word. I love you. Yes, that is exactly it, Maddie. The people that I talk about are dangerous. The people that sometimes I will talk to are dangerous. Well, we are. Are you? I mean, okay, Alcomo, you are. I'm going to go ahead and do a thing. I'm going to let you know that you are in my purple team's space, and purple team is a safe space. Now, I have 2 other spaces that are not safe spaces, and just in case you get booted from this space because if you show that you're not good faith and that you don't have home training, I'm going to kick you out of purple team. And just in case that happens, these are the other 2 spaces that you can have this dialogue with me openly. This space that you're in, though, is a safe space. It's a safe space for queer people and the people that are really unpacking or like further down the road of unpacking. The other spaces are for people that are newly unpacking. Now, I don't mind the questions about the filter and stuff, and I don't mind questions. However, that I thought we were all supposed to feel comfortable just the way we are. I feel fully comfortable just the way I am. I love how I am. And you trying to gaslight me into removing my filter or feel like I am some way invalid or my voice is not as valid because of the filter or because I'm femme or whatever you're trying to get at is not going to fly, though. So I'm going to give you one more shot to show, are you a good faith person that's sitting in my purple team? Or are you a person that's going to poke at people and just, you know, not quite fit there, you know? And I would really, really actually appreciate it if you would self-police. And if you are not a safe person for purple team, I would just appreciate you go join one of the other 2 teams. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Forward through the content.
just like, again, to me, like seeing a bloody Jesus is a little bit of a nothing burger. Not that I feel bad. Like, I really do believe that historical Jesus was probably crucified by the Romans, and crucifixion is a horrible way to die. So I'm not insensitive to that, but it's just an image I'm very used to, right? Like, it doesn't like freak me out because I'm just very used to this image. And so it is interesting that when you don't tell children that this is the love of God, they naturally don't experience the sacrifice of Isaac or the story of Exodus or even the atonement, Jesus on the cross, as love. They see it as violence. And so a religious child is often taught the conclusion first, that God is good.
Okay. Okomo, gaslighting me isn't going to work. It doesn't fly. I'm perfectly comfortable in who I am, and you've been given valid reasons, not excuses, for why the filter and why I am the way that I am. You will not gaslight me in this space. You will not. Period. You have been warned. You have been told that this is what was coming if you continued on that path. Now, if you would like to continue to unpack this and work on that and see what this is really about and what I'm talking about, and not go to that place where you need to demean and diminish me, you can go to red team or green team. But now you have to fuck off from purple team. You're not welcome here. Deuces. All right, that is done.
And God is loving and God is just. Therefore, from a young age, whatever God does is good and loving and just. And then you will find reasons to make whatever God does good and loving and just. But a child.
That is the other thing that I find so horrifying about this faith, is if you can make the torture of one's child good and loving and just, and the killing of babies good and loving and just, you can make anything good and loving and just. You can make burning somebody in hell for all eternity good and loving and just. You can make raping somebody good and loving and just. You can make genocide good and loving and just. And they have. In fact, here in the United States, Snakes of America against my people, they said it was their manifest destiny. They said their Sky Daddy ordained it, that they had the right to genocide 2,000 nations of peoples. Yes, let me repeat that. They genocided 2,000 nations of peoples. But hey, why is God loving? Do you want to tell me why that's loving? Is anybody feeling froggy enough to jump? Apparently I'm getting a little heated because of that person in my safe space for a minute. I apologize for my temperature going up. Sometimes the spice rises. Yes, Maddie, they can make murdering Palestinian children good and loving and just, and they can even blame it on those children and say that those children are harboring bad people and that is why they should be able to murder them. Yes, that is what they can do.
Child outside that religious goldfish bowl starts with the actual scene that a supernatural being sends death through a city, that children die, that animals die, genocide, family screams, slavery. The chosen people survive because blood is placed on the door. And without a pre-installed theological frame, they do not naturally say, wow, God is love. They say, wow, that is a monster. And so
that is a monster. That is what I said as a child. That is what I say now. That is a monster. Somebody that would kill babies and only not kill your baby if you gave him blood, that is a monster. And not just any blood, the blood of a baby of a different species, y'all. The blood of another baby saves your baby. And if you can call that good and loving and just, you can excuse anything. Also, I need a mattress. Our mattress is pillow top. It is killing me. It hurts so much. I can't stand it. I'm sleeping on the floor. This is emotional labor. If you would like to help me get a mattress, there is a Ko-fi in all the chats. I would appreciate it. If not, and you are just here to hang, we appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much, always, Purple Team, for being as lovely as you are. I do appreciate you so very much. And all of you, please do know that Purple Team is the only safe space. And it is a safe space. And I am very, very protective of them. And if you are ever invited to Purple Team, you also will be very protected there. And I'm willing to have these conversations. I'll have the hard conversations. That's why I made a phone line. I will talk these things out with you. However, I do have boundaries, so please respect those. And I appreciate those that do. Also, thank you so much for the resub. That is so amazing of you. Holy 14 months. Oh my gravy. Carla, oh, big hugs. You are amazing anyway. Thank you so much. Yes, there is a call-in line. You are welcome to call in. I have prompts on the screen, but also we're talking about like homosocialization. We're talking about hard things, and we're trying to normalize having hard conversations. That is really the goal. Like, normalize getting through a hard conversation, not necessarily ending it in agreement, because that may not happen. We may not agree at the end of it. Just like I don't agree with everything that Crazy Fox Lover said on Sunday. I did enjoy talking to Crazy Fox. I did enjoy having somebody that could hear my pain and still have that conversation with me, even though that was uncomfortable for them. To like have to be put in that position where like I get a little passionate, that was uncomfortable. And we had a hard conversation, and we ended it both being like, I would talk to you again. That is a fucking win, and that is where we need to get with each other as much as we can. Am I going to excuse stuff? No, not ever. I am never going to excuse heinous things. I'm always going to call out the heinous things. I'm always going to say like what I feel. And sometimes I'm passionate. I'm a passionate autistic person. I'm also ADHD. I am a loud person. And that's okay. It's okay. I am not for everybody. If I'm not for you, I'm not for everybody. It's okay. However, I will have a hard conversation. And if I mess up and I'm wrong, I'll admit it. That's cool. I'll admit that I'm wrong. Like, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, ask Purple Team. They have walked me through to where I've had to walk myself through some silly ass shit I have said. And they have walked me through that and like held me accountable. And so I will have a hard conversation, and I will own my shit. And if I come across angry or something, it's not. It's usually just passion and like a whole lot of love for the people that get hurt by the things that we're discussing. Hey, welcome in, Green Eagle. Welcome in. We're glad you came. Oh, yay. Thank you so much. Well, I am glad. Just know that you are in the safe space. So please respect the people there, because it is for them that it is a safe space. So many of them have been here, and they get enough abuse other places. They do not have to suffer it in the purple chat. That is my one like request of this whole like experiment we're doing here of having hard conversations and stuff. Let the purple chat be safe. You know, I'll give you the red chat, I'll give you the green chat. We'll have hard conversations. You can call in, and we can have a tough conversation. Just let the Purple Team just have this space where they just don't face abuse. That's my request. I love y'all. All right, back to this.
This is where I think it becomes more than just like my kids didn't like this movie, like they don't want to ever see it again. The reaction was not like atheism. They weren't just sitting there saying like this is obviously fake or there's no evidence for God. They weren't quoting Christopher Hitchens. They weren't quoting Dawkins. They were doing something different. They were just experiencing and accepting this story on its own terms for a second. Like, okay, let's say that like this is a story that people believe in, or this is a God that's real in this world. Let's say even God has this power. Let's say God can speak from a bush and turn sticks into snakes and split seas and send fire and control nature. They didn't have any problem with that. They weren't like, this is unbelievable, I can't believe this. They didn't say, could God do this? Their question was, why would God do it like that?
Thank you. I keep doing that. I think that this is what we can learn from children so much. We can learn different things to ask ourselves and different ways to engage the things that we were taught are normal. Like, not everything that we were taught is normal is normal or right. Okay, everything is subjective, and we are a species that's constantly evolving. We're constantly learning and growing and changing our perspectives. We're constantly finding new information and taking in new information and playing with new things and new toys and new tech, and we want to be progressing. Our very genetic code is like, let's progress, let's do things new, let's go new things, try this, try that, explore. We are scientific, we are such a diverse array of really cool, weird shit. And when we allow something that wants us to stay in a mindset that existed 2,000 years ago, we are stunting ourselves. We are stunting ourselves as a species. That is counterintuitive to our entire existence, whether you believe in that Sky Daddy or not. It's counterintuitive to everything we see and learn scientifically. And there's reasons that they want you to stay in those old beliefs. There's reasons they want to go backwards and not forwards. There's reasons they want to hold you and lock you into these old ways and not allow you to explore and grow and evolve. And that reason is control. That reason is control. That, Maddie, just, I had to read that twice. Sky Daniel. That's funny. You squirreled me so hard with that. This is so wrong. I lost my entire train of thought. Oh my gravy, you shit ass. Oh, Sky Daniel. That is not going anywhere. I have a bad feeling that just got stuck right in there. Anyway, what these kids are learning, like, because that's what kids do. Kids take in what the information that they're being given and they parse it out and they take what they need from it to move forward and they form their opinion, whatever. I mean, that's how we work. That's how we work as a species. We take in information, we take it and we put it in our internal schema and we parse it out and see where it fits and figure out like how we sort it out as it relates to how we sort out the world, and then that is our what we spew forth. Now, one thing that when we get in these habits of just going forth in life and not questioning ourselves and not doing that internal mirror work and not like checking our biases and things, when we fail to do that, like we miss things. But this is one of the ways that children can show us the questions we're forgetting to ask ourselves, because they're so innocent. They're taking it on face value. They know that I'm watching a movie, so this is not real, but they're taking it on face value. All of these hypothetical things are hypotheticals, and they have questions. Why does it have to be blood? Why does it have to be baby blood? Why do you have to kill babies? Why do you have to enslave people? And so they're asking these specific questions, and that is something we fail to do as adults, and particularly that Christians fail to do, and that Christian leaders tell them not to do. And these children are showing you the exact questions that you should be taking to the mirror, that you should be asking yourself to come full circle and to not only progress as a person and evolve your way of belief and your way of viewing the world, evolve your internal schema. We are a species that learns from making mistakes. We are a species that is constantly learning new things and having to incorporate that new information into our fabric. And when we get stuck in these old ideologies, we forget to check those things. We get so comfortable, we sit in that root rot, and then you got a bunch of Dunning-Krugers out here going, it's that way because I feel it is. And that is counterintuitive to our entire existence as a species. And we will be eradicated by this backwards thinking that wants to take us in reverse instead of progress us forward. So consider this. The mouths of children are telling you the questions that you should be asking. And if you are a person of faith, I think you should watch this video on your own, without me, without my commentary, all the way through. And ask yourself the questions these children asked. In fact, I think everybody should. I mean, even if you're not a believer, ask yourself the same questions those kids asked. Use it as a practice of taking yourself to the mirror, checking your internal compass. See what your schema is showing you. What does that tapestry look like for you? We're subjective beings. To be objective, we would have to engage things outside of our brain, and we're not able to do that. So, since your subjective experience and taking in new information is how we do this as species, take in the information. Do your part of the social contract. Go to the mirror and check yourself. Don't just check everybody else around you and tell everybody else around you they're bad, that you're bad, you're bad, you're bad, you're bad. Don't expect me to believe I'm a good person when you say I'm a Christian. I don't. I believe you are an evil person that will genocide people and kill babies. That is what I believe.
And that is the space where mesotheism lives.
And no, I'm not talking about abortion. Abortion is healthcare. I'm talking about babies outside of the womb, living in the world, having experiences.
Mesotheism is not atheism. It is not the belief that God does not exist or...
Okay, I'm not going forward with that. That is not where we need to go forward. Mesotheism is actually very interesting. I have given you the link to this. I think you should watch it. I mean, if you are at all interested in the rest of what she has to say, and I think you should be, it's a very well done video. I think she did a good job with this. And I think that it brings up such really good questions. It really does. The questions that we need to be asking ourselves, questions we need to be engaging. And it gives you some practice questions, even if you're not a believer. Like some practice ways to go and face the mirror so that you can look at these ideas that have been normalized for us as a society in a real way. Look at it with fresh eyes. Take those children's questions, those fresh-eyed questions, and go look at the issue again. Go look at it again. Is that the example you want to set for future generations? Is that the example you wanted set for you Do you need to go squish on your inner child and apologize that somebody did that to them? Ask yourself these questions and normalize checking. Check to see if something that was normalized for you is something and that you want to live with, an ideal you want to carry forward. There are several I grew up with that I definitely don't want to carry forward, and I am irreverent as hell. If you are unpacking religion, if anything I said poked, stung, hurt, that is fair. And this link that I just threw out there is Recovering from Religion. They are there to help unpack religious deconstruction, and they have people to help with trauma from different religions and groups, and people that can just have that discussion with you, even if you're just questioning. People that are so much more knowledgeable than me, and people that really actually care. So if you need help, go forth and get the help. It is stronger to ask for help than to not ask for help. I can prove it by how hard it is for you to admit that you need it. Okay. I am going to shut down the phone line since nobody called. And we only have 5 minutes left. Anyway, so that was actually fairly good timing, I guess. And since nobody called in, I'm not going to keep going because, well, I mean, that would be counterintuitive. It would be counterintuitive. If nobody's calling in and I just stay going, it would not work. Oh yes. It is just it's a Zoom phone is what I'm using, and so it has the phone number and then you just put the extension in. And yeah, you just call and put the extension in. I just did the Zoom thing because it's the cheapest. And I am poor people. And poor people have to go the cheapest route. So I just went the Zoom phone route. That's why it has the extension, is because it's the Zoom extension. I don't know why. I cannot figure out how to change it. If I could figure out how to change the extension, I would put a very sarcastic extension on there. However, it will not allow me to. It's probably for the best though, because if I put the extension that I would put on there, I would probably not get calls. Like, I would extremely trigger people because I am a shit ass. And sometimes I become a little irreverent, and I get a little passionate because I have religious trauma, but I also know like people that I am, excuse me, connected to tangentially and otherwise that have deep spiritual trauma and stuff. And I know somebody that has had spiritual psychosis, and it's a lot, and it's really hard to manage and deal with. And there's also a phenomenon within the religious culture of wrapping oneself in a cloak of innocence once they accept God and accept Jesus as their Lord and Savior. Now they're all innocent and fresh and renewed. They don't have to do anything to correct any of those icky things they did. It's all forgotten. And that is why we have 95.1% of men that have done sexual assault of some flavor, whether coercion or force. And excuse me, because we do punitive punishment for mistakes rather than any kind of reconciliation or learning, or the words just left me. Instead of doing a model of learning what the harm is and why it matters, instead of accounting for why people do harmful things or why somebody did the harmful thing and teaching them other ways, instead of learning to manage our emotions and actually feel everything through, we have this tendency to sweep everything under the rug. And if we like somebody, we'll make excuses for them. And so their victim never gets accountability. But also, we don't want to take accountability for anything. Accountability is scary because we're expecting punishment to go along with every time we say, I was wrong. And so a lot of the times we don't want to say I was wrong. We don't want to say I messed up because we're expecting somebody to hit us. And that is the culture that we have created around accountability. We have a very punitive culture around mistakes and errors and etc. And until we get to a place where we can discuss what actually leads to those things and correcting those errors and healing the things that cause them and etc., we aren't going to fix these problems. Until we want to address these things and go to the mirror and make accountability not only safe but appealing and preferable, we aren't going to resolve these issues. And that's why I think we have to discuss it. Like, I think that's why we have to discuss that Christianity is evil. That's why we have to discuss that God is evil. Because of the harm it does. And that was an accidental little rhyming. Oh, right though, Green Eagle, when they judge us for being gay yet cheat on their girlfriends. Yeah, I am queer and fluid and I have a wife. And yeah, I hate it. I hate it. Like, and what's worse, and we're going to discuss this actually more tomorrow, is there's this whole link between really closeted people and high levels of bigotry and racism. And so oftentimes the people that are shouting, gay is bad, gay is bad, the loudest and with the most violence are the ones that hate themselves for being gay because of this evil faith. Because this evil faith tells them it's wrong. And because this evil faith has been telling them it's wrong since before they could talk, before they could understand the world, let alone themselves, they have internalized that so deeply that they can't let it go. And they hate that part of themselves so much they want to beat it out of others, because maybe if they beat that out of everybody else, it will disappear in them. It's actually one of the most infuriating circles that exists in that realm of bigotry, in my opinion. But often you will often find a link between the severely closeted, repressed person, which I'm not going to say that they're gay or queer because they are denying it so hard. I'm not going to give them the label because I wear my queerness proudly. I'm not giving them a label that they hate. If you hate that about you, Boo Bear, I'm so sorry that somebody did that to you. That's messy. That's messy. And I really hope that you are able to go to the mirror with that and heal that, because you don't deserve to carry that kind of ick. And so long as you're going to spew your awful icky hate on me, you can go suck an elephant. I'm not inviting you in my club. And I still wish you will to get that worked out and heal that, because you are doing harm to my club. But like a lot of those people that are so deeply closeted and really, really hate gay people, they actually hate themselves. It's just like a lot of your severely transphobic men, a lot of men that fight against trans women being women so hard, is because they refuse to see them as women. This religion and this society holds this strict line and these strict divides so that they have strings by which to control us. And so those people will never see trans people as they are. They will only see them as they were assigned. Now, I don't have that conversation or debate, because for me, the people that want the gender critical people lack the understanding and scientific knowledge or even research to back up any of their gender critical claims. Like, if you don't know the definition and can't hold something to a cluster category versus an exclusionary category, you are not intelligent enough or informed enough to have this conversation with me. If you don't know how sex is a cluster category and what cluster of things and how it works, and then you want to make exclusionary things that go along with the cluster category, you are not intelligent or informed enough to have this conversation, and I refuse. You will not have the conversation about my existence and my siblings' existence while you don't have the language or understanding to have the conversation. So that is one thing, one prompt that is not on my thing on purpose. Exactly. No, they are very jealous of that, Green Eagle. They're incredibly jealous of that because, and they don't even understand how much they hate themselves. They know it at some level, but usually people that hate themselves don't understand the level to which they hate themselves. Speaking as somebody who used to hate themselves. But yeah, they are envious. They are so envious. The thing that you can be open and proud of and loving and engaging with is the thing they've been taught to not be, the thing they've been taught to hate themselves for. And see, one of the reasons why men who are TERFs are even worse is because they feel like trans women are betraying them in some way as well. They have been taught that anything feminine or girly is weak. Men and boys are socialized to never be a girl. That the worst thing you can do is be a girl. Don't be weak. Don't be a girl. Don't be a sissy. Don't cry, that's girly. Don't play with dolls, that's girly. Ew, you're wearing pink, you must be a girl. So they're taught to hate femininity, to look down on it, to see it as weak. And so they see trans women as men who are betraying the club. They're betraying the default. They're not going with the plan. And they hate them for it. And because it is such a homosocial pond, and other men will grab their man card and wave it around and say, ew, you're gay, like it's a bad thing. They're afraid that that really beautiful woman they're attracted to might have once defied the club. And then some guy is going to point at them and call them the G word. And then their whole world is going to collapse around them and they'll just die. I mean, that's fair, Green Eagle, though I have seen there is a sect of Christians that actually do say the eating thing to people. It's pretty gross. I am on all the worst parts of the internet because of the research I do. I hate admitting that. I'm on all of the worst sides of the internet because of the research I do. It's really problematic. Like, oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. And the algorithms don't know what to do with me because I am also such a leftist that I'm also like engaging it with way far leftist stuff. So like it's wild in my For You page. All right. YouTube, you are beautiful. You are wonderful. Thank you for being here today. Hey, Twitch and Kick, stay put for a second. I gotta tell YouTube goodbye. But I'll be back with you. We're gonna have a couple of minutes doing some music together, cause I got something for you. And just give me a minute. All right, YouTube, you're beautiful. You're awesome. And this is the stuff that I talk about. It's not for everybody. And I'm a little irreverent. irreverent. I do mean it though about the caring. I do care. And I am mostly irreverent and angry because I hate the abuse cycles and I want the abuse cycles to stop. So if you are struggling with any of these things and my irreverent ass poked anything or stung anything, please, please, please do click the Recovering from Religion link. They are amazing. They are there to help, and they are kind, beautiful, and loving, and they are not as irreverent as I am. So go forth, get the help you need, and do that thing you do. Yeah, I know you hate hearing it, but do that thing you do. Anyway, do it anyway. Do it anyway. You know the thing. You do so too know the thing. Every time you say a bad thing about you or think a bad thing about you, say 2 good ones out loud and don't recycle the same 2 in one 24-hour period. I know it's hard, but you got this. You can do it. Once you start treating you better, you will treat the rest of the world better. And you deserve a good engagement in the world. This is the one, even if you believe that you're going to be scooped out and go be a fluffy cloud in heaven, this is the one time you get to be here on this earth with these people and all the stuff here that supposedly your glob made that you're supposed to love and respect. So treat this time as good and with as much love as you're going to treat the next time, and treat you with as much good and as much love as you want everybody else to treat you. And that way you will accidentally start treating other people with the same. All right, go forth, do the thing you do, be good to you. I will see you tomorrow, YouTubes. We are going to be talking about Chud the Builder. Yes, I have a new nickname for him. It's going to be fun. See you tomorrow, YouTube. Go forth, do the thing you do, be good to you.